I have many friends of the opposite gender.
So yeah, I do have a lot more friends from the opposite gender. I had many guy friends in England, and I also have many guy friends in Japan. I think that maybe it's a lot more acceptable for Westerners. Maybe I'm not sure about this, so maybe he can confirm. But I think having friends of the opposite sex is absolutely fine. I think it's very progressive and I don't really see anything wrong with it, but I think that it really depends on the person whether they feel comfortable with friends of the opposite sex or not, especially depending on the culture and background. I think it's understandable. Some people might have different perspectives. But yeah, me personally, I actually get on with guys more. Yeah, so I have many guy friends, and yeah. So.
So I have more guy friends than girls. It's just kind of way it is. But for me, it's kind of easy to talk to girls for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously, I wanna know about girls, guys, yeah.
Right.
But when I get close to them, then it's guys like more comfortable.
Yeah.
Cause sometimes talking for the first time, second time, third time, like it's gonna be dating later on, and then after dating or after having some kind of a relationship, it's done already, right? So when that happens, no, it's not gonna be no more friends.
Yeah.
But guys, it's gonna be keeping up how do I say?
There's no relationship pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why when I get closer to them, everyone is gonna be friends. But not girls, no friends,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
That's really interesting
Yeah.
though, because I think like from your perspective, you're saying that a girl you have to date first before you become friends. I've met guys at events or at bars or and just invited them out with my friends and stuff, and it's always been platonic. But I think that just my impression in Japan, when you meet someone for the first time, if you invite them out again, they assume it's a date. Whereas in maybe England, just because you want to hang out with someone doesn't mean it's a date. I think you might even have to actually say that you're interested in someone. Otherwise, it might be assumed that it's not a date. You can just hang out. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I go out with I meet a foreign guy, like, oh, you cool? We have the same interests. Let's just hang out, and then we never assume it's a date or anything. And then maybe they have a girlfriend or something, and it's completely platonic. But I guess for you, you feel that most of the girls you meet are through the dating scene.
Recently, yes.
Okay.
Well,
What
yeah.
about like university? or
University,
work?
yeah, of course I have yeah, kind of a lot friends who is girl, but for now my colleagues or um especially my colleagues, yeah, all of them are guys. That's why I drink with them guys. And then when I was in junior high school, and I actually most of my friends are from my junior high school. When I was in junior high school, it's kind of Japanese thing maybe.
Okay.
They are kind of shy to talk to girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now, now, I like talking with girls. I just do it. But when I was in junior high school, like being cool is like not talking to girls.
Girls are smelly.
Yeah.
Men and women pay half on the first date.
Okay, I think for the first date with girl, guys should pay everything. Yeah. It's just that can be, guys' pride.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm thinking that girls are coming for guys. Like, of course, guys inviting girls, and then I don't know, guys inviting girls, and then girls are coming for guys, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's why guys should pay, and then also girls has they need to spend like more money for their fashion, makeup, and hairdressing and stuff, right? So that means guys should pay. You know
For
what
the
I mean?
makeup as well?
Um, not just for the makeup, because they spending more money and makeup and stuff, makeups and stuff. That's why, but guys don't really spend money on makeups or fashion and stuff. Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. That's actually not bad.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
not bad.
That's why I have that, yeah, opinion. Yeah.
So I'm actually really surprised that you said that. Hearing it in that way, it's very interesting to hear it that way. But the reason I didn't sit down is the fact that the comment you said was the person who invites should pay.
Mm.
And I think that goes with the woman as well. So if I was to invite someone on a date, maybe they're coming because they want to be polite, or because they still not. They still don't know if they're interested, but of course one side is interested.
Mm.
So I think the interested party should actually pay,
Right.
especially if they invite. Because if I say to you, hey, let's go to Regato in Shibuya or something, or let's go to the expensive place, I don't know your financial situation, but if I think that I want to go there, then I should pay.
Mm.
But then at the same time, if you invite me to a cinema or something, it should be you that pays. But I think it's the person who does the inviting. However, in England, I think it was a little bit different, the whole chivalry part of it. Man takes the woman out, she, makes herself look pretty and stuff. That's kind of where you touched upon earlier. But I think guys will pay a lot as well to look good. Don't underestimate that, the cologne, maybe if they wear a suit even, if they're going to a dinner.
Or a suit for sure.
But yeah, so I think it really depends. Maybe the man wants to pull out the stops. I think the best way for a guy to make his impact, getting out his wallet and pampering a girl, I think is actually very romantic. I think a woman can also do the same for a man as well. But it's the private touches, maybe he brings some flowers or something. Even this gesture is fine. If he feels that he doesn't have the means, I know some people, they can't afford to pay for everything. So maybe just some small gesture like bringing a flower or something,
Right,
or
yeah.
that can also be a nice touch in the placement. If
Is it for the first date though?
Yeah.
Bringing flower?
I've had someone bring me flowers on the first date, and I was shocked, and it made me smile.
I like to do it actually,
Mm-hmm.
but I have friends with girl. She's saying that's too much. Yeah, that's why like for the first date, like it's maybe maybe in Japan, Japanese girls think that's too much. Like they're gonna be, why? Yeah.
You know what? I think it's all. What do you say? Like read the air.
Read the air.
Yeah, read the air. How do you say in Japanese? Read the atmosphere.
空気?
Yeah,
Read the air. Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you say it?
空気を読む. Yeah.
So I think that, if you just suddenly go up to a girl and invite her out and you've never spoken to her before and you have no idea if she's interested.
So your first date, as in not the first time you're meeting him.
It's kind of different. Well, that's different in Japan, isn't it? So I think it really depends. If you've both shown a romantic interest and you both have a romantic interest, I think it's okay.
Right.
But if only one side is romantically interested, then maybe it's difficult. Or
never known for the first date. That's why maybe she thinks that it's not good too much.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay maybe. So
I think first dates are often like done online now, which is where the line gets blurred.
mm.
Yeah.